Let's continue making controls. For our character, we're going to make our pelvis control and our neck and our head control. So again, we're going to go to our curve shelf and we're going to create a nerve circle. And we'll click F8, quickly select those. And actually for our pelvis, I'm going to change this and I'm going to go to the Make Nerve Circle options in the channel box, and I'm going to change this back to linear so I get more squared off lines. And then I'll go into component mode to scale this up a little bit. And then I'm going to take these 2 points and scale those in. And maybe just scale this whole thing down a little bit. Make kind of a bow tie. And then what I want to do is I want to rotate this up. So what I'm going to do with these control points selected, I'm going to hit my E key to get to my rotation tool. And I'm going to go underneath my rotation tool, and I'm going to turn on the step snap to absolute. And then it's just set to 45, which is fine. And I'm going to rotate that twice to have it be like this. Now I will hit F8, go back to object mode. I need to name it. This is the pelvis underscore C. And then we're going to group it. So with that selected, we'll hit Control G to group it. And we'll name our group just like we've created our other controls. And now we can take our, I need to put an underscore GRP on there. And now with the group selected, I'm going to again go to my move tool and hold down my V key so that I can snap it to my pelvis joint. So it's living right on top of it. Ta-da! Okay. I'll select my control again and hit F8 to go into the control points, and I'm just going to scale this down a little bit. Let it go. Maybe bring that in a tiny bit. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and then I'll hit F8 to get back out. That's better. Now with my control selected, I will shift select the pelvis, and I am going to constrain and create a parent constraint, just like we did with all of our last ones. So there we can see the joint is constrained, and we can see, maybe if I can select this here, you can see I can rotate those legs. Okay, now this is going to be a child of the root control. So we're going to select our group and then shift select the root and hit P to parent it. And there we go. You can see all the controls we've already set up under the root, going lower back, mid back, upper back, and then we have our pelvis, which is also a child. And that way it kind of separates the top and the bottom half of our character so that we are all set there. Okay, now we're going to create a neck control, and we're going to do some fancy stuff with our head. So we're going to select our Nerves Curve Circle tool, and we will hit F8, go to component mode, and scale that up just a little bit. We'll keep it as a circle, and this is our neck underscore C, and then we're going to hit Control G to group it, and that will be our neck underscore C underscore GRP for group. And then we're going to select our group, and we're going to snap it up to our neck. All the way up here. Almost there. And there we go. And then maybe now it's in place, I'll select on the control and maybe just go back to component mode and scale that in. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe I'll move it up there a tiny bit. And yeah, we'll leave it like that. Okay, again, we have our control, which is all zeroed out because we moved our parent group, and that contains the values, and that is fine. And we're just going to select that group and then shift select our upper back control, which is here, and we're just going to parent it. So now it is going to follow that. So there we go. Oh, we forgot to set up our constraint. No big deal. We'll select our neck control and then shift select. Oh, sorry. We'll shift select the neck, and then we're just going to do a parent constraint. Now that will have control on the neck. Wonderful. Okay, let's set up our head. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to create a circle. We're going to rename it head underscore C. We're going to group it, Control G, and name the group head underscore C underscore GRP, just like that. And then we're going to select our control, and we're going to go, I'm going to go to the history again, to the make NURBS circle 7 here. And instead of having 8 sections, I'm going to increase it to like, I don't know, we'll say 12. And then it's just going to create more control points. And I'm going to click F8 to get to those control points. I'm going to scale it up a little bit. And then I'm actually going to rotate it with that discrete rotate on to be this direction. Okay. And then I'll leave it like that. Now I'm going to go back to object mode and select the group. And I'm going to snap that to the head joint. So come up here, snap that there, and just zoom in to really get it right on that head. Okay, that is perfect. Okay, now I'm just going to shape this on the YZ plane to be just a little more appealing. So I'm going to move that here, and then I'll bring that up there and pull that down, start getting a nose in here. Like that. And then maybe pull his chin down a little bit. There we go. So it's just kind of fun. You don't have to do this. You know, circle is fine, you know, around the top. It could be a different orientation, anything like that. I think it's just, you know, it's just kind of fun. Have some of this on here. Yeah. There's another one in here. Just bring that there. And bring that like that. Yeah, I think that works. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to do it like this. But there we go. Kind of looks like a head. All right. So now that that's in place, where our group is in the right spot, we're going to select our control. There's our control. And we're going to control select our head joint. And we're going to go and we're going to constrain that to a parent node. Okay. And then we need to parent this to, so we'll select the group again, and then we'll shift select the control of the neck, and we'll hit P to parent it. And now we'll see our neck, head group, and the head. And that's what we like to see. Okay, everything nice and clean. We are all good there. A couple more things here. All these controls are blue. Let's go ahead and switch up some of their colors. So I'm going to select this. We're going to go to our attribute editor for our pelvis, and we're going to go in again to our object display and the drawing overrides. We're going to enable overrides, and you can make it whatever color you want. Typically, you'll see yellow is kind of the center color. Everything on the left will be blue. Everything on the right will be red. And that's pretty typical there. So there's that. Actually, let's do the pelvis like this lighter blue. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. We'll do the same thing. We're going to enable that for the root control. This one, I think I will make yellow. There's multiple yellows. We'll do that one. Okay. And then I'm going to use the same yellow there for that control. And I will do the same here. Okay. And then we have our upper back control. We'll do the same thing, enable overrides, and change that to a wonderful yellow right there. Okay. And then we have our neck control. We'll turn on, and maybe this one I'll do red just to mix it up a little bit. And then we'll do yellow again on our head. Right there. Okay. Remember to save your work often, Control S. And yeah, now we have some nice colored controls on here, easier to see, which is great. Now we're going to add some extra functionality to our head. Okay, it's functioning just fine right now, but we're going to give a little bit more control to our animators. So on with our head control selected, we're going to add an extra attribute. So we're going to go to Edit and Add Attribute, and that is going to pull up this window right here. And we want this to be a boolean. So boolean is an on and off. It's either on or it's off. That's it. There's no other values there. And we're going to call this world underscore orient. And we're going to add it. So you can see it added it right there. That is fantastic. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're going to deselect anything. So just click off so that nothing is selected. And we're going to create an empty group. So just hit Control G and it will call up. It's called a null because it's empty, and it's going to be right at world 0 right there. And we're going to name this our world underscore orient underscore GRP. And this is going to be a child of our global control. So we're going to parent that. We'll just select that, then select your global, hit P, and now it is parented. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go in our outliner here, and we're going to select the world orient group, and then we're going to select the head control group second. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to create an orient constraint. Okay, it's going to lock the rotations to this group. So if I come up to control, we'll see parent, point, and orient. We're going to make sure that our maintain offset is on and that we're constraining all axes, and we're just going to click apply. And we can close that. Okay. So now we have this constraint. We can see it right here. It's not on our control. As you can see, we've got nothing blue here. It is on the parent of the control, which lives at the same place as the head joint and our control. And what you'll see here, we're not done, but you can see the functionality. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold down my E key and hold down my left click button so I can turn off that discrete rotate so you can see it a little better. But now, when I rotate my body, the head stays oriented to the world. Okay? And this is really handy because when you're animating, and like say just a character walking or running, we naturally try to keep our head level as we run and as we move. And so this helps give that functionality kind of automatically, which is really pretty nice. Okay, but sometimes you want it and sometimes you don't. So that's that control, that attribute that we created. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our connection editor, and it is going to control, this attribute is going to control whether this orient constraint is on or off. So we are going to pull up under Windows, General Editors, the connection editor, because we're going to make a connection. So it's going to pull it up right here. Left to right is how it reads. So we're going to select our head control and just click reload left. So that loads in all the attributes, and at the bottom you'll notice our world orient. Now in our outliner we're going to select our orient constraint node. It's right here. And we'll reload right, and it comes up with all of its attributes that can be connected. So we have world orient, and we're now going to select the world orient group. So now, when this value is 0, you can see our orient group is also 0. There's no weight on it. It has no control. So now when I rotate it, it's going to just bend forward normally. So the rotation isn't being constrained. And then whenever we want that on, we'll just turn that on there, and now we have it back again, which is awesome. So yeah, that is the one little taste of what we're going to be doing more and more of. And it's a good illustration of why we have these empty group nodes. Not only do they help store data for the control without putting it directly on the control, but we can use it to manipulate our control so that we can get that type of extra functionality. So now we can do this, and you can see we can still rotate our head on top of it. It's not locked out at all. So we can do all of that and be totally fine and set. So that kind of covers all the basics. Okay, there's still more controls that we're going to be setting up, obviously on the arms and our legs. And we have controls for like our nose and our jaw, our eyes, eyebrows. All of these we will get to later on. So, but next up, we are going to create an IK leg setup with a reverse foot functionality. So, and we will get that in, and then we'll create it for our right side, and we'll move up and do it. And then we'll do an IK-FK switch for our arms, and then finish up everything in the face. But at this point, we're really starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So hang in there. We're getting there.